What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Cigars and Everything Else podcast. We're in episode 54.
Yes, 54, 5-4. We moving. We moving.
What we got?
Hey, look, man. All right. So 54 I thought was going to be a challenge. It was actually more of a surprise for me. Saw some names on there I actually like. Brian Urlacher, football player, Hall of Famer. Is he Hall of Famer? Well, no name. At least I know the name.
Should be.
One that's near and dear to my heart, Chris Spellman, Hall of Famer, Lions, linebacker. I like it. Go into basketball. We can do some Popeye Jones.
Yeah, nah.
We could do some. We could do some Rodney Rogers, man. Shout out to him. Like he had a tough break, but we could do some Rodney Rogers. Man, we could do Horace Grant.
Okay.
Yeah, he got them chits with the Bulls. Yeah. Or we can go Kwame Brown.
Kwame. Hey,
Where we going? We got some Hall of Famers. We got some championship ring holders. You know what I'm saying? We got some notable players.
Hey, look.
And then we got Kwame. We got.
Nah. Why you laughing at Kwame? I put Kwame over Popeye Jones. Now, Horace. Look, if we talking about on the court, Horace goes over Kwame. But at the same time, you know, if we talking off the court, we can use his jersey number. Whatever jersey number he using on YouTube, you know, that's what episode Kwame can get.
Hey, Kwame making a splash right now.
Yeah. He killing in the social world. You know what I'm saying? But we basing it off what you did on the court. So, you know, I'm gonna have to bump you out, man. But what you doing in the social world, I put you on for that.
I thought you was gonna go Kwame Brown. Nah,
man. You I like how you led, man. I like Brian Urlacher.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's my choice. Where you at with it?
If I had to guess where you would have went, I would have said you would have went Kwame Brown or Horace Grant. That was my number 2. And I'm shocked you didn't go either way. I'm going Chris Spellman. Man was a beast.
That's where you going.
Man was a beast. He's one of my favorite Lions players of all time. You know what I'm saying? If I had to build a top 10, he's definitely in that top 10. If I had to build a top 5, he might even make that top 5.
That's fine and all, but you knew I wasn't going with the Lions' choice. So
I knew it.
He was in last place. If anybody, I would have considered Popeye over him. Like, you know what I'm saying? Personally, but nah, man. For me, I think Urlacher is the best player out of those bunch.
Out of all of them.
With my biases included in that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Urlacher had I mean, of course, look, Horace Grant got a lot of rings and whatnot, man, but I think and
key contributor.
Was valuable. He was valuable.
Key contributor. Key contributor.
You know, I feel like Urlacher had a little bit of a better career than Horace Grant, though. You know what I'm saying?
All right. We can go with the Brian Urlacher episode. We can do it.
Look, it ain't got to be that. You know what I'm saying? We'll share it. You know what I'm saying? Because in fairness, you know what I'm saying? I want to be fair to your Lions team. You know what I'm saying? I can't bring myself to vote for him, but at the same time,
we can't. You know what I'm saying? We can't make the playoffs. We can't make it to the Super Bowl. One thing we can hang our hat on is that we've had some all-time greats. We just could never put it together. We've had some all-time greats. And come on, let us get one. We can't get no rings. We can't get no chips. We can't get no trophies. Let us get an episode, man.
Didn't Sanders get 20? We had to get. If we, I don't know. We might not have been doing it way back.
No. We might
have had to get Barry if we were doing it.
But yeah. If we were doing it, it should have went. It should have went Barry. And I think we did because I think I remember us having a conversation when we brought up Peyton and whatnot. And so I think we did. I think we were doing it at that point.
Yeah. Peyton. Nah, not with Barry. You know what I'm saying? I can't even
2 different 20s right myself
there. Yeah, bro. I can't even let it fly out my mouth, man. You know what I'm saying? Regardless how much I want to tease, I can't even let that fly. But yeah, man, forget it, man. Yeah, man. You know, man. y'all have another one, man. Go ahead, man. You right. Y'all got enough L's, man.
Let's go, Spellman. Hey, Brian Erlock. Hey, much props to you.
It's the Spellman episode.
Let's go. Hey, we in there.
But you know, more importantly than what player gets it, it's the Oliva episode. Because right now we about to get into some nub talk. It's the nub episode.
Yes, sir. Some nub talk. Hey, look, I was excited leading up to this episode. Hitting the humidor, picking up a couple of nubs. I think I actually picked up my nubs a little premature before we decided to make this episode, if I'm not mistaken. But hey, I was excited on getting some nubs. I think I was like, hey man, I want to smoke these. He's like, nah, we're gonna do a nub episode. I'm like, all right, let me hold tight then. So I'm excited. I'm excited.
Yeah. I think your purchase may have led to the nub episode. It's very well possible.
Okay.
But I don't think we ever smoked a nub on the show. I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think I've smoked a nub in a while anyway, whether we on the show or not on the show. It's been a while since I had a nub. And I've always been fond of them. And, I think what brought us back to this anyway, to the fondness of is when we did our episode 50, running through all the brands that we like and looking deep into Oliva and then realizing, oh, Oliva makes nub. Man, it's a nod to Oliva. Man, I miss nub. Yeah. And I think that's how we got to this point of, hey, let's get into these nubs again.
Most definitely. And Oliva being one of our Vernon cigars top 5, it's only right. It's only right that they get something.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So what you got?
Now, I got the nub Nuance triple roast. And I was sitting here fumbling with my stick, and I realized I popped my lower band off a little prematurely. I always try this. It never works. Anyway, that's the nub, man. And I popped this off the bottom prematurely, and I tried to put it back on, but I couldn't get it up there. And I wasn't about to mess up the construction of my stick to make it look pretty.
No, you don't want that.
It comes with another band, so that's all.
Okay.
You see, I'm anxious. Right. I started sliding off. I'm ready to get busy over here and stuff, man.
Go ahead, slide them all. Let's go. Birdman hand rub. Let's go.
Right, Birdman rubbing over here. And I got the, I'm going with a punch on this. It just feels proper, man.
I'm going straight cut. I got a torpedo in. I have the nub Cameroon. Cameroon. So that's where we're going with our nub. So I don't know what details you have on yours, but it looks like mine just is a medium profile, wrapper Cameroon, origin Nicaragua, filler Nicaraguan. Here we are. So I'm ready to see what this one does, man.
Mine is origin Nicaragua. It's a Dominican filler and Dominican binder with a Sumatra.
Yeah. I say Sumatra. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that sounds beautiful. With it. I love Dominican. Dominican is one of those ones that I don't get enough of, but when I have ran into a Dominican, I've always enjoyed it. Enjoyed it.
Now check this out, man. I don't know if you caught me catching a little whiff of my stick here.
Yeah.
It's breezy. It's breezy where I'm at, and I'm sitting here just holding it, and I'm like, where is this? What is this rich chocolatey smell that just keeps blowing by? And I had to pick it up, and I'm like,
it's coming off the nub.
It's coming off the nub, man. Just a little breeze, man, and I'm just smelling it, man. It's just.
Mine
unique to it?
Yeah. Just a good tobacco leaf. Nothing that really sticks out as like a cocoa or chocolatey, but yeah, nice. It has a sweet aroma though. More it's tobacco, but still with a little bit more of a sweet aroma on it.
A sweetness to it. Okay. Yeah. This right here smell like, I don't know, man. Just like I'm at the chocolate factory.
No nice. He said no chaos. Shout out to that album though. Man, shout out to that album.
Man. Yeah, forget what y'all talking about. Shouts to that album. It was good to me.
I think I'm gonna go with a cedar spill today. I got matches, but I think I'm gonna go with the cedar spills. So in full disclosure, I'm going match to cedar spill.
Okay.
So we're gonna keep it all the way cedar and wood, all of that. And everything natural there. Everything natural. Man, for a short stick there, I feel like I have to do a lot of work to get this bad boy going. I ain't gonna lie.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that can be
gauge on it. Them gauges is thick. That's
I was about to say that. I think that can be contributed to the gauge of the stick itself. Because looking at the other cigars I have, kind of on my humidor case, they're a little bit smaller gauge. This one has a bigger gauge, shorter stick, but much bigger gauge.
Mm-hmm. I don't normally smoke this gauge, so without a doubt, it's that's a part of it, you know. Man, they
we got it going.
Very, very, very sweet on the right here on the actual mouthpiece. You know what I'm saying?
On the wrapper itself?
Yeah, the wrapper itself, man. This is like some Fat Bottom Betty type stuff. You know what I mean? But not
really
different type of sweet. Different type of sweet, but it's
a more dialed back sweet.
Yeah. But it's definitely some sweetness, a lot of sweetness I'm picking up on. You know how people be like, don't wet the blunt up when people smoke weed? Like, I'm not like one of those smokers that would wet the blunt up. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Wet this up. So the fact that I'm catching it on my mouth is just like incredible. You know what I'm saying? All this flavor that I'm picking up on.
Okay. Well, I'm not getting any like flavor like that. Like nothing in the realm of a Fat Bottom Betty or a Java or anything like that. So I don't have anything on the wrapper that kind of speaks to that. But off first light, really good aroma. Some leather off the top. Which I'm not used to. Leather usually comes in and kind of slides in there at some point. But I'm getting some leather off the top. A lot of earth. And some oak, especially in the aroma. But definitely leather is the prominent pickup that I'm getting here. Which is not something I'm the fondest of. But I'm not mad at where I'm at with it right now. Of course, we have to let this cigar burn a little bit more. I'm going to put another match to it real quick just to kind of even my burn out and make sure I'm good to go here. Yeah. I feel like I kind of ended a little premature. I just blew my match out talking.
I can't say exactly what I'm experiencing right now, but it's pleasant.
Yeah?
It's pleasant.
Man, I am having a hard time with these matches today.
That's every day.
I'm just gonna say it's the construction of the matches. It's not me. Cause I ran through a few of them just to get the cedar spill lit. And I should have went with the cedar spill again because I just burnt my finger.
Yeah,
man, I'm looking like a real amateur right now with these matches.
Yeah, man, just put your pride to the side and go get a Bic. That's what you need.
On the nub, come on, man. Come on. We trying to do this right. All right, let's go with another match. I think it's the match, man. I'm gonna just say it's in the match. It's not me. It's the match.
Hey, shout out. I wonder how Nub is, how they do this. If they like make the stick and then they just like take a nice, perfect, even cut right off the first third and just get rid of all of that. Or if it's just made that way where it just jumps straight into it.
That's a good, that's a good question. You know, to actually think about, you know, the premise of Nub, trying to give you that full experience, but then kind of hit you where the cigar really takes off. And that could be a contributor to this, maybe just cutting down to that last third. But I don't think even if you cut a cigar down to that last third, because the purpose of the cigar's length is allowing all the things that's in that cigar as it's wrapped and filled for those characters to really take place as it's traveling through the cigar. So it has to be construction-based more so than just cutting it down to the right size. It have to be construction-based.
Yeah.
All right, I think I'm good. You see my burn here a little bit. It was looking a lot more worse than that, but it's we finally get some ash on the on this other end here. So I think we had a good point.
Fix, you ain't really gonna enjoy this. You ain't gonna know what the stick got if you don't get that burn fix.
Yeah, for one, because it's too short of a cigar.
Well, yeah, that. But I'm just saying, like you're gonna everything that you're supposed to experience at a point in time. It's about an even passover. If you're doing it diagonally, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, you're gonna misgrade this snub. I can't allow you to do that, brother. Like you got to fix your burn
off of a bad burn. And if anybody knows me, if you're new to the Cigars and Everything Else podcast, for the history of us smoking our cigars, I've always been known as a bad burn guy. This is just notoriously me. I don't know why. I don't know what it is with my technique. What am I doing wrong? I'm been notoriously known as the bad burn guy. Just is what it is, man.
Yeah, man.
You look disappointed.
You still love it, though. You still love it.
Boy, you look so disappointed.
The man just as passionate about cigars as anybody you ever meet in the world, but he will burn it unevenly.
It catches up eventually. Look, it's gonna catch up. It's gonna catch up.
That's because you smoke with sticks. They do what they're supposed to do eventually.
They do what they're supposed to do eventually. You're right about that. You know, and maybe some of the sticks that I might not like, maybe it's my fault. Maybe I had the bad burn and I didn't give it the best case because it wasn't the top-notch cigar to handle my user error. Who knows?
Hey, that's an interesting way you're putting it, man. You might be on to something. Might be on to something.
I'm to blame for how I look at Gherkin Brickhouse. Man.
Well, we gonna test that.
We will. Brickhouse episode coming soon. All right, so yeah, so now my leather is kind of dialing back. I like it, and now I feel like I'm strapped in and ready to go. Burn's getting better, leather smoothing out. Now we're picking up. Now we're rocking and rolling.
Man, I'll save it. I'll say what I was about to say because it can wait.
Okay. It can wait. All right. Yeah. All right. So since you're gonna save that for later, whatever you had to say. I wanted to bring something up, man. So just recently in the news, heard of a tragedy that just happened. An unimaginable tragedy. I couldn't imagine losing someone, especially, close to me, my kids, mother or something like that. DC Young Fly, his girlfriend, baby's mother, recently lost her life, man. Young, 32, I think. Mm-hmm. And in a situation of how she lost her life, very, very, very unfortunate. Very unfortunate. For those who don't know the story, she went down, I think to Miami, was looking to do some cosmetic surgery, a mommy makeover of some sort, which includes a tummy tuck and breast augmentation, all these things, right? To kind of hit those hot spots that you go through from, childbearing, right? It happens. We get it. We understand it. And understand the cause for somebody wanting to do that, just to put themselves back together. But still, in my opinion, still an unnatural process. The way the body goes and the elasticity and stuff like that. Sometimes it can be unfortunate, but it's still natural, right? And to go through that, to have those ideas, and then go down to have a procedure and a surgery or whatever, and then to come back with, or not come back, and to lose your life just trying to seek improvement in yourself. You know, looking at it and just thinking like how tragic that is, and thinking about where does that stem from, right? And to me, I feel like that comes from this whole idea that we've begun to live in. We're starting this whole AI generated idea of life, filtered way of life. When the filters came in and everybody has this idea of trying to make themselves look like what they wish they would look like, and airbrushing this and airbrushing that we have this warped idea of what we're supposed to look like, how we're supposed to look. And I think that is something that's kind of plagued our culture, as well as other cultures. But I know specifically the culture that pertains more so to me and yourself, and being around people and seeing how we just are, like how we look at ourselves and how we seek improvement and seek perfection, and we end up in detrimental situations like this. You know, what's your take on it, man?
Yeah, most definitely condolences to his family, his children, her family, and everybody that's connected to that situation or any situation similar to that.
Unimaginable.
It definitely, yeah. And it's sad because it all stems from everybody chasing whatever this new standard is. You know what I mean? Like, we're all trying to look like a filter. We've gotten so far removed from a natural look that when you see a natural look, it's not looked at as beautiful no more, man. And it's just, it's weird to me, man. Like, I don't get it. Like, everybody wants an unnatural looking body. Like, there was a time, right, when I was a kid, like, people would be into like augmented breasts if you get like implants and stuff like that. But when you went too ridiculous with it, we all looked at you kind of like as a caricature or like, this funny thing at a certain point. But now everybody is walking around with the caricature bodies. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
what do you call it? The BBLs with the unproportionate BBLs. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Your legs ain't matching your behind.
Yeah, your legs don't match your behind, and it's just, and this just could be just me where I'm old at, man. But because I have an actual memory of natural beauty, and versus this generation, a lot of them don't have no memory of it. By the time they got into what was attractive, this was already in. You know what I mean? Like when they was kids, before they was, into looking at one another, they had already started to see these BBLs and stuff like that, man. You got to think. Yeah. The Kardashians started this back in like 08, 09 with the fake booties and stuff like so. Right. You was a kid in 08. You were born in the year 2000. You 23 now, and all you know is fake butts because when you would have started looking around 9 or 10, 11, so.
And as you're growing into that society and as it's becoming more normalized, you're seeing more of it. So now it's more of a natural option, and it might be a more preferred option for either the female who is doing this or the male who was attracted to it, or the female who's attracted to it. And saying that this is my idea of what it's supposed to look like because this is what has been normalized and what we're seeing more of. Like you said before, like when people would do it, depending on the proportion of it, it was, all right, cool, whatever. But you get to a certain point that we're seeing now that people are looking at it as natural. We're looking at it as like, yo, that's back in the day. That was,
you look a little off now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So, and then it wasn't that much of it. Now, the population and the magnitude of how many are making this a normal thing, it's just one of those regular options. All right, let me go down to Dr. Miami and do this and X, Y, and Z, and make this. Let me go down out of the country to this country. Boom, come back. It's like not a taboo thing anymore.
Nah, not taboo. Once upon a time, even if it wasn't taboo, it seemed like you had to have money to have that back in the day. Back in the day, some rich guy had to buy it for you. Now everybody just go buy it for themselves. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And get it done. And if you can't afford it, like you say, you go to some third world country and pay some doctor to, put whatever, God knows what in your body. You know what I'm saying? And for a discounted rate.
That.
And then this happens. You know what I'm saying? And you're losing yourself when you beautiful enough as it is. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
you ain't got to do that stuff, man. You ain't got to put fillers in your face and all this other weird stuff to make yourself look like some unnatural creature. Like,
and I mean, and that comes from, like I said, when I mentioned like the filters and things like that. A lot of people forget what they look like because they use these filters. They use this, you know, this altered idea of themselves, what they wish they would look like in their head, which a lot of times this is worse to me.
right.
But then it gets sensitive when you try to tell somebody you don't need that to be beautiful. You are beautiful the way you are, and then sometimes they'll take offense to it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's gone that far to where now it's offensive to tell somebody that their natural beauty is enough. And their natural beauty is beautiful.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like, think about it this way, man. And not only have people started going overboard with just that, they go overboard with basic stuff. Like the makeup. You're going overboard with makeup.
Yeah.
You look like you in one of those what's the little things with the drag queen contest? You look like a women be looking like drag queen contest now. You know, they go overboard. You know what I'm saying? It's like you've lost your actual femininity through all this stuff.
Trying to do too much. Yeah, trying to do too much.
I seen a girl walking through the mall on the internet and her hair drug like 15 feet behind her. You know what I'm saying? Just on the ground, just overboard.
Like, is that necessary?
Everybody.
Hey, look, I don't want to get us in no kind of trouble. I don't want to get us in no kind of trouble with viewership or whatnot. But yeah, the eyelashes is overboard, man. The eyelashes is overboard.
Yeah, everybody just.
Them joints are like giant caterpillars on people's eyes, man. Like, what are we doing?
And they're like this the whole time because they can't see. And it's like, come on, man. Just take them off and put something natural looking on. Something like, what is wrong?
And then they're like,
and what I say, enhance yourself just to be a little bit better, but you did not want to look like a regular person. You wanted people to not think you had it on. Like, you know what I'm saying?
And then that's why I was gonna say, like, we're not saying don't do it. You know what I'm saying? Don't enhance yourself. Don't use enhancements. Don't use contour, filler, this and that. We're not saying don't, because there's a use for it. Like, you know, if you want to just add a little pop to whatever you got going on, that's fine. That's fine. Yeah. But the part that we're talking about is just the overkill of it, you know, and just thinking about why put yourself in a position where you can't see because you want these extraordinary attributes that are unnecessary.
Yeah. You look like a Disney character or something instead of looking like a human. Like, you know, the girls used to stuff they brought, they would just put a little extra in there just to look natural. Like they had a little something extra. You know what I'm saying? That was
a little push-up, bro. You know what I'm saying?
That's it. You know.
Oh, and another one, the waist trainers, man. Those are dangerous.
All that stuff is dangerous. Moving your body and contorting it in weird ways and stuff, man. Like,
but you know what I'm saying? I don't want to, you know what I'm saying, get to the point to where I offend anybody who's doing these types of things. But it's just like, it's something to be said about just being natural, you know, and being who you are and understanding the beauty and flaws, the beauty and growth, the beauty and change. You know, and then just trying to make the best of it with what you got. Like, okay, yeah, natural, working out, eating right, this and that. And if you happen to have a little pudge here and there, okay, but that's fine. You know, I'd rather you be healthy and have that pudge than try to get this chopped off here and there and then potentially put yourself in a hazardous situation. It's not worth it, man. It's not worth it.
Yeah, not at all. Hey, look, and look, I'll say this. If it makes the whatever women that are listening feel a little more comfortable, you know, with the conversation. Guys that like paint this on and don't make it look natural, they look y'all all in the same boat. All y'all
they gonna let us have it
to me. You know what I'm saying?
They gonna let us have it. Yeah, they gonna let us have it.
Everybody
matter of fact, I sent you. Matter of fact,
look natural.
Right. As a matter of fact, I sent you a clip. It was Cam Newton asking some female, I can't remember who the female was, about what don't you like about a man. That's what he said. What was the question? Like that's fake or not real or not his or whatever. Mm-hmm. And it was like almost nothing. You can't have almost anything that wasn't you, that you weren't born with on you.
She said only teeth. Only teeth was it.
Only teeth. That was it.
Yeah.
And we got to do something about them teeth, though, too. Because the teeth is out of hand.
The teeth is out of hand,
The teeth is out of hand.
I seen a video of a dude last night. He like this the whole time. He couldn't close his mouth. He just, yeah. I'm like, God knows, man. Can you close that? Like, can you do that?
So this is just not for the females. This is for guys, too. That's out of hand. Let's get these teeth together.
Let's get these choppers right, man. Get a smaller size.
Like we do the enhancements, you know what I'm saying? Little spray, whatever, but like you said, natural, not overkill, not doing too much. You know what I'm saying? But women give men a hard time, like if we put on a unit or something like that. Like, oh, his hair ain't real. Okay, but the wigs, y'all done had them. The makeup, y'all do it. The augmentations, y'all get it done. But it's wrong.
And we ain't complaining about none of that stuff for years until now, because you just keep going too far with it.
Going too far, and people are losing their lives over it. It's not worth it. You know what I'm saying? That's where, like, of course, you know, I might have expressed displeasure here and there at some points about certain things. But when people start getting to the point where it's like it's really unhealthy and they're really putting poison into their bodies and they're losing their life and putting their, you know what I'm saying, their health at risk, that's when you gotta step back and just look at things and evaluate what is really going on. What are we really doing? What is the cause of this? Are we having this warped idea of what we're supposed to look like? And is it being caused by these filters that we live by? You know, and the idea of what we want to become. Instead of just appreciating who we are. You know what I'm saying? The human body hasn't changed much for thousands of years. You know, you had people who look like this and people who look like that. Embrace what you look like. Somebody gonna be attracted to you. You know what I'm saying? I ain't looking for everybody, but I'm looking for somebody.
Yeah. Look, ultimately, like you say, we've looked the same. The human body has not really changed much. This is how it's supposed to look. We're in pursuit of perfection, but in reality, we're designed imperfectly. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like we pursue perfection, but we're imperfect by design. Like your fingers are not the same size on either hand. Your nostrils ain't the same size. Your eyes are different. Your ears are different. You know what I'm saying? Like whatever you believe in, God or if it's not a God, it's something else you believe in, or science or nature. Whatever designed us purposely, you think they couldn't have got it evenly? Even across
right. Now that nostril needs to be exactly. Yeah, we are what we are.
We're imperfectly designed on purpose, man. For whatever reason. That's what makes you look good. You know what I'm saying? It's being imperfect. When you start looking too perfect, you start looking imperfect. You start looking weird. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. We can go down the line and we can talk about a bunch of celebrities, whether we're talking about Lil' Kim, whether we talk about some of these Kardashians like you mentioned, or we talk about, we can even go with our GOAT, MJ. You know what I'm saying?
Everybody looked better before the surgery.
Like, come on,
MJ was a handsome fella before he did all that mess to himself. You know what I'm saying? Like, if only he knew it. If only he would have known it himself, though. You know?
Yeah.
And Lil' Kim looked a whole lot better when I was a little kid looking at her on that.
Come on now.
And she looked.
Come on now.
10 years later.
Come on now. But that's just what I'm saying. Like, in what we've seen these things since the mid 80s until now, and before, Michael Jackson is multi almost super billionaire by the time when he got going with this. Like, so that was reserved for, like you said, people with money, and now it's becoming accessible to people without money, like without an excess of money. To where now, let me go get this done. Let me go get that done. Let me become this and that. And it's become more accessible. And the ideas are becoming more shifted, and it's becoming more plentiful, and there's more of it. It becomes more of a norm. And then we start chasing it more. We just got to get back, man. We just got to get back to just being us and just appreciating who we are.
Now, this is the question, though. How do you get back? Do we get back? Is it the duty of people to realize their self-worth, or is it the duty of the opposite whoever's pursuing you to let you know you don't need to do that. You know what I mean? Like, is it is your mate? Is it your mate's duty to make you feel secure, or is it the person's duty to realize I don't need?
It's got to be the person. It's got to be the person. It's got to be the person and the people themselves to say, no, I am enough. You're gonna accept me and force this back. Because honestly, you know what? No, not even force it back, because I still feel, and this is speaking from a man's standpoint, and I'm not sure if I'm speaking for you and your experiences and your counterparts and other men that you've been around, that our speech hasn't changed. Most men I know, we like what's natural.
Yeah, I do.
I've been in circles with several hundreds of men, and I would say that at least 90% of all the men I know confidently would prefer natural over not.
Yeah. If something's obviously fake, you're not gonna get my attention for very long. Like, you know what I'm saying?
And that's just coming from the men I know. From the men I know.
Yeah. And
I'm pretty sure it's the same for you. And it's probably the same for everybody else in their circle. So I don't think it's them convincing us, because I feel like we're fine with that. It's about them, or whether it's a man who thinks they need to change themselves. I'm pretty sure the women would say the same thing. No, I prefer a man that's natural. Don't go out and buy fake six-pack abs. I'd rather take that dad bod. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm cool with that. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got to do all them enhancements. Just go bald. I like a nice little bald head. You know what I'm saying? Plenty of women be like that. You know what I mean? So it's not necessarily the receiver to convince, because we've already been on that fence. We've already been on that side. But it's the person
social
who's
media
doing
fault, really. It's putting too much in people's faces.
Got to be social,
building on their insecurities.
It's got to be social media's fault. I wouldn't even put it on the person who's doing the changing. It's social media's fault. Like you said, it's social media's fault. And them feel like, okay, I got to compare myself to this and that. I'm seeing that, so this is what I'm trying to attain. Them getting back to say, I am enough. I'm good enough. I'm cool. No, that's a filter. I ain't got to chase that because that person's using the filter. So now I feel like I got to change my face because that person's using the filter. And how can they look so perfect? So now I got to go under the knife and make myself look like how they look on their filter, or the airbrush with the magazines back in the 80s and 90s when I remember Tyra Banks doing the thing and taking the makeup off and like, nah, y'all gonna see my face. Now that's airbrush, that's makeup. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. Yeah, I look perfect on Sports Illustrated, but that's not how I look on an every day-to-day basis. Come on now, y'all. Right. Like that's for entertainment.
Right. I remember that. Yeah. Which was real of her. You know what I'm saying? To be able to do something like that, you know, and it took courage for the time, but ultimately it didn't matter. People didn't care. They were like, give me the filter. Get out of the way, B. Give me the filter.
I get what you're trying to do, but I'm with that filter. You know what I'm saying? And I get it. You know what I'm saying? We all want the best lighting. We want to make sure that we're presented this way and that way, but come on now. At what cost, though? At what cost? That's when you just have to bring it back a little bit. And like we talk about, like, not saying don't use it to your advantage, but to what level? How far do you go? And when do you get to the point to say, okay, this is too far. Let me stop it right here. I'm good. So, off my soapbox.
Hey, I'm with you. Hey, normally we would do the halfway mark review, but we smoking nubs. So let's just save it for the end.
All right, cool.
Now, with that being said, when you say a good point, when do you say to yourself, enough is enough, I'm good? We're going to use that and we're going to just transition into what's going on with in the news with some of our fellow male the actors. You know what I'm saying?
I know where you're going.
Who are in their 80s, Al Pacino, Robert De Niro, having children in their 80s. When is enough?
When is enough? I want to say shout out to them, but I don't want to say shout out to them. I don't know where I stand on this. Being a man's man. Like, I'm not saying I'm as macho as they get, but you know what I'm saying? I applaud our vibrato and say, hey, look, we can still get it done. But man, come on now. Come on now.
Yeah. You can still get it done. Shout out to you for doing it. The best medicine in the world made sure you was able to get it. And but it's a little selfish to get it done when you're 83. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You know, and that's when I heard about Robert De Niro, 79, and then now hearing about Al Pacino's 83, I really do feel, you know, that it is selfish. And we can even go the Nick Cannon route, even being younger and having more children.
Yeah.
And then, or being older and having a child. Because, okay, granted, you have money, you have acclaim and fame. And when you pass on, however many years that when it's time for you to go, that child's going to grow up ultimately without their father. Ultimately. Yeah. And I hate to take it to a sad route, but that's the reality of the fact. You know, okay, your money's good, your legacy is good. They'll know that, hey, my pops was the dude on Godfather. He was killing it. He the man. Oh, my pops was Scarface? Come on now. But at the same time,
of all time. Shoot.
You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, it's like you being able to be there and healthy enough, young enough to grow with your seeds and give them the tools that they need as men. Especially, well, I can't even just say especially boys, because girls need their fathers too. Just as much as boys need their father. But it's kind of tough, man. It's kind of tough. Like I said, shout out to them for getting it done. And you know what I'm saying? But
hey, man, that was probably the most saddest getting it done ever of all time, man. Like, they probably just laid there and it oozed out, but they got it done. But my fault, man. I had to go take it and make it gross. But just say it, man.
Matter of fact, do you know how old
bad your knees hurt right now? Imagine your knees trying to get the job done at that age.
70.
Yeah, man. They
I'm barely surviving. Come on now.
It was a sad getting it done.
I don't know how old the mothers are. Do you know? Do you have any ages?
Can't be over 45. You know what I'm saying? I don't know the ages, but it's
pre-menopause
anywhere after. Yeah.
Either way, they have their
dangerous. Age. You know what I'm saying? So
true. Yeah, true.
They got to be pretty young.
Pre-menopause.
Unless it's a surrogate. You know what I'm saying?
True.
It ain't no surrogate though.
No, from what I read, it's their partner. You know.
Yeah.
It's the actual.
Yeah. They got it in. And once again, shout out to you, Al and Robert, for getting it in. You know what I'm saying? We all want to get it in at that age. You know what I'm saying?
Like I can still. So you're saying there's hope? I can still go. It ain't over for me yet. I'm in the game, baby. All of us. I'm in the game, baby.
But you got to get out the game, man.
Pull my jersey back down here. We good.
Hey, look, bro. This is like a professional wrestling match. You know when you gotta go tag out? You got to tag out before the 3 count. You know what I'm saying? They laid there and took the 3 count, man, and now you got a kid on the way. Loud. Get out, Al. You know what I'm saying? Get out, Robert.
Hey,
stop being in the game if you can't get out the game in time.
Come on now. Reflexes ain't the same. Reflexes ain't the same.
I feel you.
Timing is not going to be on point at that age.
Hey, right. You know, your mind might see it coming, but you know, your mind like, hey, man, it's that time. But the time in between you getting froze and you know, I get it. You know what I'm saying? At 83,
the mechanics are just a little bit different. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But shoot, you got a young woman. You should have told her, move. You know what I'm saying?
Before we get it in, this is your responsibility. But at the same time, I mean, do these women?
The women probably cool, man. You know what I'm saying? The women probably cool. The men, I'm sure they're happy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to, we're making fun of it, but you know, I don't want to judge it. But at the end of the day, I think it's selfish just in the sense of you ain't gonna be here, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, and that,
hate to put it that way. I mean, and God bless if you get an extra 40 years, you can let it be 120 or something. But how effective can you be at 110, 115, 120?
Now look at it this way. I'm gonna speak on behalf of someone who I would say I had my children at an older age. I had both my kids in my 30s. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I know I don't have the energy today that I would have had if I'd have just went on and did it in my 20s. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Now add 5 decades to that. You know what I'm saying?
You ain't got the energy. Somebody come get these kids.
Bro. Come get these kids. They crying. I don't know what they fussing about. And you about to take kicking in. You like, man, what is going on? Like, come get y'all kid. Who baby's disease? Like, you know what I'm saying?
It's your baby. Yeah, that's your baby.
I ain't got no kids. Baby. My kids is 40. What you mean? Like, it's gonna be crazy. Like, I don't know, man. But shout out to them, man. You know, I love both of them, man, and I wish them the best, man. But
classic actors. Yeah, but man. But real quick, how do you feel about the Nick Cannon situation? Like the guy, like, and I'm gonna preface it this way. My grandfather had a lot of kids. I think when we sat down and we talked to him, he said he had about, I don't want to put a lie to it. But it was over 20. It was over 20. It was like maybe even over 30. You know what I'm saying? My grandfather was out there. You know what I'm saying? And just put it this way. With my grandmother, he had 8 with my grandmother. You know what I'm saying? With my mama and her siblings, it was 8 of them. Then he went down to Georgia and he had another family, got married again, and he had a bunch with them. So at least I know for a fact that it's over 15 that I could put eyes on.
Yeah.
And then with him being a blues singer and just traveling around doing his thing, he swept and down. Yeah. He said his numbers was up there. He owned it. He owned it.
With Nick is, from if I've heard quoted correctly, he's come out and said something that let it be known that he realized he might have messed up. You know what I'm saying? So
bit off a little bit more than he can chew.
Bit off more than he can chew, timing wise. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it comes down to. For Nick, it's a whole nother situation from Robert and Al. Because with Robert and Al, I just don't think they're equipped to do the job. I mean, on an intimate level. You know what I'm saying? They got the funds to be able to make sure their kids is well taken care of and got the best babysitters and teachers and everything else. But it's just rough on them involvement. But they can be there. They're going to be there. You know what I'm saying? But with Nick, it's like his involvement, they got the same issue of involvement, but Nick can't be involved because he got this whole career he's doing. And then
I mean, like, even if
12 kids he's trying to give attention to. So it's just like,
even if he did, like, from my standpoint too, even if he didn't have a career as busy as he was, if he was able to work one job and go home and try to take care of all them kids, that's still, I don't know how. I got 3, and I'm trying to divide my time between 3.
Yeah,
I couldn't imagine having 12
pulling me too far, and then a wife
aren't in your home. You know what I'm saying? Not in your home, and one over here, over there. Like, how do you get around to making sure that you're there for all of them? And then being a father, it's a full-time job. It's a everyday job, you know? And not to bash, you know what I'm saying, fathers who don't take care of their children on an everyday basis. I couldn't even imagine that. But to really be an effective father, that's from the minute they wake up to the minute they go to sleep, and even while they sleep. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a all out, you know me, I know you. Yeah. And we pride ourselves on being good fathers, great fathers. Yeah. And that's a nonstop gig.
It is. If you really being a father on an elite level, and men like yourself and myself and other friends that we have, we creme de la creme in terms of fathers. You know what I'm saying? Like, the elite level of that. You know what I'm saying? Because we're there day to day, and they're around, and like being in that position makes me realize the importance of having a father in this position, because you underestimate just the influence you have just being around the house and them watching you, observing you, and learning from you.
Just being there without even saying anything, teaching them anything, just the being. That's astronomical.
My existing in their same dwelling makes a huge impact on my children. And then being involved while being there, it takes it to a whole nother level.
Now, once I get vocal, now once I get active, now once I start putting direct action related to the things that they need, now you're building more on top of providing. You know what I'm saying? Not because you can be there, you can be active and you can be vocal, but then now the providing piece, that's work. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's a lot that comes with fatherhood, and I can go on for hours. We can do a whole another 10 episodes on just fatherhood from my standpoint. You know what I mean? But I don't know. I don't know how you do it. Your outlook on fatherhood has to be just a little bit different and able to in order to feel like that's a comfortable thing to do. You know, but not from my outlook of fatherhood. I don't see it as being something that's beneficial or something that's going to be, you know, not saying it can't work, but it could work from my position, how I would approach fatherhood.
Yeah. I think, you know, and this is uncomfortable to say, but this is the reality how I feel about it. I think he had a moment of immaturity. And he looked at it as this thing of like this during this phase of his life. He looked at it as this thing where I want a lot of kids. I want to see a lot of versions of myself out in the world. You know, I want to. He felt like his kids was his mark on the world. If I had to guess, I'm just guessing. You know what I'm saying? I ain't watching. I ain't watching no interviews on him speaking on it. But that he had a moment of immaturity where something to that effect was his driving factor to going into it, and then. When his head cleared from that, he realized, oh snap, I gotta also be there for him, and this ain't easy to do as I didn't think about that aspect of it. You know what I'm saying?
Because I think how old are his oldest children? Like 12, maybe?
Probably at this point, yeah.
At this point, his oldest is probably like 12.
Yeah, him and Mariah.
And let me tell you this:
2008, 2009, somewhere in there.
For having my youngest is 11. For having children who are 11 and up. And this is for you too, man. The notch turns a little bit when they get to that age. Things get a little bit different. Okay, you ain't changing diapers no more. You ain't got to make them lunch and breakfast. They can do things on their own. But the amount of attentiveness to tuning who they are. Just think about your life. And I could think about mine. When I decided who I was going to become, and the personality that I was going to put forward for the rest of my life, for the basis, was around 11, 12, 13. That's when I finally decided who I was really going to be. And now after I decided around 13, finally decided who I was going to be, now I had to work that. And that took my father every day to make sure that he was there. Of course, my mother. But we're talking specifically about fathers. That's probably Father's Day is coming up this month too. So it's right on time, actually. It took my father to really hone in once I decided who I was going to be. Now, I could have made it harder on him or could have made it easier on him. I don't know. But it took that example and that everyday fatherhood on me to make sure that whatever I decided how I was going to be came to pass. And that stayed solidified. And it's probably dawning on him now as his kids, his oldest probably hit 11, 12. It's like, yo, they need that.
Yeah.
So now I got another one that's going to hit this point, another one's going to hit this point, and then they keep hitting these points. They're going to need a lot. And then now when you have adult children, that's a whole nother ball game. Having adult children, that's a whole nother ball game.
Yeah.
When mine finally hit adulthood, I'm like, what in the world is this? What is this? You know what I'm saying? So it's just him understanding, like, especially as they get older, now it's probably that light bulb going off, like, yo, what in the world was I thinking? It's cool when you got 10, now I don't know what I'm saying it's cool, but it's probably cute. Okay, I got 10 little Goo Gagas or whatever. You change that diaper, give them some milk, move on to the next baby mama, Goo Gaga, you know what I'm saying? Pinch them on the cheeks, play with them, run them around, go to the next one. But now when they need that mentorship, that strong influence, that takes a lot. That takes a lot.
Yeah.
And when it starts compiling, because I know he got a few that's around the same age. And when it starts compiling around the same time, it's gonna hit.
Yeah. I think something hit that made it, the epiphany happen. You know, like you said, it could have been something similar to what you were saying about, because his kids are, his oldest are getting to that age. And maybe them getting to that age made him start saying, I miss babies or something. I don't know. He caught some type of little fever or some moment of immaturity. And he's a very bright guy. I'm shocked that he fell for whatever change caused him to do it. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah.
And now
I'm pretty sure, like,
setting in.
And maybe it might not even be an immaturity. Like I know he had his health issues, and he probably felt like, hey, I want to populate the world and give you know what I'm saying, hang my hat on my legacy and the children I create.
That's why I say his legacy might have been his children, how he might have been looking at it. But even then, it goes back to the Al Pacino, Robert De Niro conversation. If you having health issues and you thinking you might not be here, then put all your energy into the ones that are here as your legacy, instead of making a bunch of kids you ain't gonna be there for. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's why I say it was a moment of immaturity. Because he's smarter than that. Like, you know what I'm saying? He's a smart guy. Like, you know what I'm saying? So he had a moment of immaturity where a lapse in judgment occurred. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because it ain't intellect, not with him. It's something else that went wrong. Like, and he misjudged the right path to go down. And I'm not saying his children are wrong, you know what I'm saying? But now you're stretching yourself thin now.
You're stretching yourself thin. Yeah, you're stretching yourself thin. And are you really going to be able to give them all the things that they need?
Yeah.
Only time's going to be able to tell. Because I tell you, even where I'm at now, it's tough. I'm pretty sure where you at, it's tough. Just to match multiplying that. Woo.
Yeah, my two is hard enough, you know, without having double digits. You know what I'm saying? And think of it this way. This is a conversation that I have me and my wife from time to time. Like as we're parenting, it's just like, hey, look, you're gonna do the best you can for your kids, and regardless of how good you do, they will have a complaint about the job you did once it's said and done, because you're making decisions on behalf of someone else, and they're not gonna always see eye to eye with those decisions. Regardless if the intention is good, you know what I mean? So like, Nick is gonna have to live with that. Like, you know what I'm saying? That his kids are they're gonna be scarred by their experience with him as their father. Regardless of how good he tries, just because he's only one man, you can't do it. Like, you know what I'm saying? You ain't gonna be able to fly from house to house across the country every single day and spend time with him. Like, you know what I'm saying? So and FaceTime ain't enough. You know,
it ain't enough.
Talker toys ain't enough. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
trust me, I like, and like we said, being the fathers that we aim to be, and to still have gotten feedback from my children, whether it was my youngest, my middle, my oldest, still getting feedback. I wish my dad did this. I'm like, you wish what? Like, but I did everything. Like, but I, you know what I'm saying? And even then, I'm still hearing conversations, and they're still having conversations with me. But you didn't do this. But you didn't do that. But you didn't do this, and you didn't do that. I'm like, oh, but I worked myself to the ground trying to make sure I gave you everything that I knew how to give you. Yeah. And then still, in some instances, in their minds, fell short.
Yeah. It's going to be like that. It's going to be like that.
That's hard.
My cousin just had a conversation this week. He said the same thing. He was basically like, you know, he got into a conversation with his kids like, hey, look, what do you think of my parenting job? And he said they tried to lie at first, and finally they was just like, you know, little things they had their gripes about. And he was like, looking at the situation their gripes was about, he was like, you totally misunderstood what I was doing in those moments. Like, you just didn't get it. And it's going to be that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Kids just ain't going to get it. People are going to rewrite history of the moment. Like, you know, they're going to be like, hey,
talk about that all the time.
This happened, that, and I thought it was this. Like, I had a friend, right? He was talking about how his father wasn't in his life like that. And he said when him and his father actually had a conversation about it, he said his father was like, no, son, I used to come to your school every day and have lunch with you. I would do this with you all the time. You told me to stop hanging around so closely to you because it was embarrassing because the other kids' fathers weren't as underneath them as I was. and you felt like I was smothering you. So I gave you your distance. And then my friend was like, I thought about it for a second. I couldn't even argue with him. He was right. I said my father wasn't in my life this whole time, and I pushed him away. But he rewrote history in his mind of how
in his mind. Yeah.
And kids do that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and it becomes so real to them.
Yeah, it becomes real to him. But a lot of kids don't own it. My friend owned that he was wrong, but some people ain't gonna own it. You know what I'm saying? They just gonna rewrite it, and that's the story now. Like, mom or dad didn't do this good enough, or didn't do that good enough, or they hurt my feelings with this. But in reality, I didn't try to hurt your feelings. I was trying to protect you from something else that was more dangerous down the line, but you missed it.
That you didn't realize. Yeah, that you didn't realize. But so, that's the pains of parenthood, man. And I couldn't imagine doing it at 83, 79. I couldn't imagine doing it with double digits. So, you know, but back to the original thing. Shout out to Alan.
Shout out to Alan,
Robert for
getting it in. Shout out to Nick for getting it in. You know what I'm saying? Hey, man. Shout out to all them. Nick show you can be sick and get it in. Rob and Al said you can be
it ain't over. It ain't over.
Get it in.
Where there's a will, there's a way.
There's a will, there's a way, man. Horny men across America salute you all, man. You know what I mean? Like, it will be good.
Man. Yes, sir. All right, man. So
we at the hour mark.
Yeah, we had our point. And look, hey, one thing I would say, man, Nub. We've been smoking. We got about maybe 10 minutes before we started lighting up. 50 minutes smoke. I probably got another maybe 5 minutes left of my smoke. Top notch to that. Like, not to that. I had to relight it maybe once. Probably because of my bad light in the beginning. But hey, I'm with this. Short stick, but it'll still give you a full smoke. Love it. So I'm gonna go ahead and go into my review first, if you don't mind.
Mm-hmm.
It was what I expected it to be. Quality smoke, well packaged, well presented. Leather, it started out with leather, faded, and where I'm at now, leather's coming back pretty strong, but leather in a pleasurable way. Like, the leather is not harsh. Doesn't put a bad taste in your mouth. It's just a coating that goes along with some of that earth and that oak that I was getting. I did get a little bit of cocoa notes towards that middle portion. And we started adding a bunch of different flavors and started doing some nice little tricks. So whatever the Nubs tries to do or what they aim to do, they got it with this stick. I got a full journey with the smoke. Good all the way through. I'm going to give this cigar a solid 4.0. Solid 4.0.
Okay.
On the nose.
Cool. That was the Nub Cameroon, right?
Nub Cameroon.
Okay. I have the Nub Nuance triple roast. I would have to guess that the roast might have something to do with a little bit of a coffee, note that you pick up on within it. There is definitely a nice full creamy smoke that I'm picking up that I have. There is a little bit of leather that I picked up on, like you say, but it was more like a coating. It wasn't like, to the forefront, more to the back.
Yeah, like a little undertone. Okay.
Yeah, a little undertone. That cocoa chocolatey note that I said I had, that's within there. And I think that's what's providing the sweetness, because there is a sweetness to this stick that pretty much lasts throughout it. A little bit of cinnamon, you know what I'm saying? But blended like the way that you have like a cinnamon in your coffee, not cinnamon like just spicy. You know what I'm saying? Like just real smooth in the mix. And there's something that's almost floral like. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how else to describe it. Like, you know what I'm saying? I never figured out what that was. You know what I'm saying? But that was within there. That's just the best way I could think to describe what it was. But it was a note that I never could put my finger on what it was, but it was an undertone in there. Now, with that being said, this stick was one of the best starts I've ever had to a stick in recent times, in recent memory. Like, I would keep this in the humidor just for that initial feeling on the light. And I would be content. You know what I'm saying? Just off how this ride started, this was automatically going in the 4 category for me. Just off the beginning.
Okay.
You know
off the beginning.
If it would have nosed over after that, I'd have been like, whatever, it's still a 4. Like,
yeah. So 4 was the floor from the jump. Nice.
From the jump. It solidified a 4 right off the bat. When I said, you know what, I'm gonna save it for the later on, that's what I was about to say then. Like this,
okay.
The way it started off is one of the best beginnings I've had. But anyway, I'm not gonna tease it no more. From 1 to 5, I go 4.3 on this stick right here.
Nice, solid.
Yeah. And like you said, we still burning. I probably could get another 15, 20 minutes out of this at least. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. We already been going for 55 minutes roughly on this stick. So, and I haven't had to relight. So thumbs up to Nub, thumbs up to Oliva for always showing and telling why you one of the best in the business.
Yeah, they definitely delivers. They definitely deliver. Jeez.
Yeah. All right, y'all. Well, we appreciate y'all for tuning in. Let me clearly speak my words because I am a voice actor and I should be better at this. Thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of the Cigars and Everything Else podcast. Keep the
Kwame episode.
Hey, man. Call it what you want, man. I'm with it.
Not a Spellman episode, man. Cigars up, bro.
The Spellman and Oliva episode. We out.
Cigars up.